been 50 years since Oakey & Sons have been in business. Join us on a journey through the decades as we learn from Ray and Steve about the humble beginnings of Oakey & Sons. You'll get to learn about the stories that took place behind the scenes and the challenges and wins that Ray and Steve went through over the decades. Let's find out why Steve left Ray and how street lighting lit up the business in the noughties.
I wasn't aware that you were thinking of closing the business down. So when I asked you about doing street lighting, how come you were interested in doing it?
Well, the business had slowed up a bit anyway. It seemed a good thing to possibly do because you'd obviously gone onto other stuff and you were into management then. So when you asked me about doing the Forest of Dean area with the street lights and the price was right, then it seemed like an easier option. Plus the fact I had a vehicle provided and I was able to do my college work. So
yeah, so it gave you the time to do what you wanted to do as well as earning some money.
I had 3 years, I think, wasn't it, doing the street lighting?
Yeah, probably was.
And 3 years up at the college doing various courses.
What sort of courses were you doing at the college?
Well, I did a writing course and singing.
Singing?
Singing as well, yeah. And that led me into, well, the one led me into doing poems and then the other one led me into writing songs.
The singing electrician.
Yeah, what a thought.
An award I had in 2001, according to that on there, by that sunflower, for my efforts in adult learning. I would have been, how old was I then? Gosh, 57.
Well, I think there's a bit more to it than that, wasn't it?
Well, I suppose there was. There was a couple of books of poems that I did, and then a couple of CDs of songs.
Well, songs that you wrote?
2 songs that I wrote, and I also made a CD of a couple of songs that I didn't write. But that came about from the singing lessons. There was a couple of women in there that were smokers, and this was back in the time when they were trying to ban cigarettes, weren't they, in smoking in public places. And when we got outside, the first thing they'd do was light up their cigarettes. And I said to them one day, you know, that won't do your voice any good. You know, you're not going to get a good singing voice if you keep smoking. And they came up with all sorts of excuses why they couldn't give up smoking and all the rest of it. And so on the way home, I put all their objections to it into a poem and read it out to the class the following week. And the teacher said, "Ray, you need to put that to music and make a song of it." So that's what I did.
They say the coals were smoking. They say the coals were smoking. In many ways, that's true. She had seen it done by others. And thought it was the thing to do.
Hear my mouth organ playing?
At the time of being a pop star, you decided to invest in a cherry picker.
Well, hardly a pop star, but yeah, I missed having the cherry picker because it was useful on this house for maintenance, let alone anything else.
I remember us having the conversation about it.
Yeah, and took me a while to get one, and then of course once I'd got it, you managed to get the contract for the Christmas lights at Cinderford.
Yeah, but that was about the time when I came back into the business, and we took on the Christmas lighting job with Cinderford Town Council, and we've done it ever since.
Quite a bit got to be redone on there. All this has got to be filled in with red. This is a Father Christmas sat in the moon.
Yeah, well, I think you come along and said, how much work have I got on? Can we get any more? And sort of worked at it then, didn't we? And got more work, mainly for the cherry picker. But then we registered with NIC as well, didn't we? To get back into the contracting, because they were pushing it on us then, and that kind of pushed it on a bit as well.
It was kind of a daunting time for me, similar to you all those years ago, going from an employment into essentially self-employment and not knowing
What the devil
was coming tomorrow.
Yeah. But one of the things that helped, I think, was the opportunity of getting into the shop again, wasn't it? Opening, taking over a shop.
That was late in the
later part. Well, that was when you come back, wasn't it? Because we were doing all sorts of repairs again then as well, vacuum cleaners and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
We got into doing.
Yeah.
With a bit of help from Graham, who was supposedly retiring. And we took his lease on and finished it out. It wasn't a long lease, but then we decided it was worth doing, so took the other shop on.
Yeah. So the fears for me coming back into the business was unfounded, really, because with those avenues that we'd opened up, it was going okay.
Yeah, and considering I was intending to close the business back in the 90s, or slow it down anyway and gradually close it, that wasn't a bad way to finish off the 2000s, was it?
No, it wasn't.
So, Steve came back and helped the business grow. Join us in the next episode to find out what CCTV and the police had to do with the business in the 2010s.